The signal in the dark space was silent. Nothing moved. Nothing breathed. The stars blinked far away like cold eyes, watching the wreck of an old alien ship drifting in the dark. It had no power, no life signs, no reason to be noticed. But suddenly, it pulsed. A soft beat, like a heart. Jace Carter sat in his small scavenger ship, bored and hungry. He had been searching for weeks. No fuel, no parts, nothing to sell. His ship was barely holding together. His eyes were half closed when the signal came. Beep, beep, beep. His ship's computer woke him. Unidentified signal detected, coordinates locked. Jace blinked. That's impossible. Nothing comes from this part of space. But the signal was real. Slow, steady, like a heartbeat. Not human, not any known language. Jace leaned forward. Could be alien tech. Maybe worth something. His hands moved quickly. He turned the ship toward the source. He found it after 3 hours. A massive alien derelict. Broken. Silent. Floating between shattered asteroids. It looked ancient. Half of it torn open by some old battle. Jace's breath caught. By Earth's ashes. That thing's huge. He scanned it. No power. No movement. Yet the signal was still calling. It was coming from deep inside the ship. He smiled. Jackpot. He docked his ship near a small tear in the hull and grabbed his tools. With a flick, his helmet sealed and oxygen filled his suit. He stepped into the cold, dead ship. Inside, it was dark. His flashlight showed dust floating in the air like frozen time. Alien symbols lined the walls. Metal long rusted. Corridors stretched like a maze. Okay, Jace muttered. In and out. Find the source. Take what I can. Don't die. He followed. The signal deeper. Every step made the ship groan softly like it was waking from sleep. Jace reached a large door. It was sealed tight. The signal came from behind it. He touched it. Nothing. He looked around and found a strange panel with glowing lines. He touched it by instinct. It buzzed. The door clicked. It opened slowly with a low hum. Inside was a round chamber, empty except for one object, a pod, smooth, glowing faintly blue, covered in more alien symbols. Jace stepped closer. The signal grew louder in his ears. He reached out. The pod opened with a hiss. Inside was nothing. No body. No machine. Just a strange mist that rushed toward Jace's hand and disappeared into his skin. His whole body stiffened. Pain shot through him. His vision flashed with images. Stars, planets, war, screams in a language he couldn't understand. Then silence. His knees hit the floor. His breathing slowed. He stood up slowly. The room was brighter now. Lights on the walls blinked to life. What just happened? A soft voice echoed around him. Welcome, chosen one. Jace spun around. Who's there? No answer. Just the hum of the ship. Waking. His wrist. Beeped. Vital signs. Enhanced. Bioenergy level. Increased. Neural link forming. His hands shook. This ship. It's alive. He looked down at his palm. A glowing mark had formed. Circular. Alien. He touched the wall, and the ship responded. The walls shifted. Doors opened. Pathways lit up ahead. Jace stumbled backward. What is this? The voice came again, calm and clear. You are now part of the vessel. We are awake. Jace stared at the chamber around him. Something inside this ship had chosen him. But why? And what had it done to him? Outside, unseen by Jace, something deep in the derelict blinked. Something ancient. Something waiting. And now, it was watching. The vessel awakens. Jace Carter woke up lying on a soft metal floor, his head spinning. His last memory was of touching the pod, and then the mist entering his body. The pain, the glowing mark, the voice. Now he was in a new room, a large chamber with curved walls. The air was warm. Lights pulsed like a heartbeat. It was quiet, but not empty. The walls moved gently, almost like they were breathing. He sat up, groaning. Where am I now? His suit was gone. Yet, he was breathing fine. The atmosphere inside, the ship had changed. It was perfect for him. He looked down at his palm. The alien mark still glowed faintly. Then the voice returned. You are safe. Jace looked around. Who are you? I am Zira, caretaker of this vessel. You were chosen. Chosen? He stood slowly. Why me? You are the last compatible organic mind. The others failed. Failed? His voice cracked. What do you mean failed? Images flashed in his mind. Beings, tall, graceful, alien, collapsing as the pod rejected them. Screams, energy backlash, death. Zira spoke gently. Your biology is different. Strong, flexible. Your pain threshold is higher. Your mind survived the merge. Jace rubbed his temples. Merge? Wait. You merged me with what exactly? The ship. This vessel is alive through me. You are now its host. Together, we can move, we can fight, we can return. He laughed nervously. Return to what? There's nothing left. Earth is gone, the colonies are gone, I'm alone. You are not alone. Not anymore. The chamber opened around him. He stepped into a central core room. Holographic stars lit the space. At the center stood a large console with swirling energy. Zira whispered, Touch it. He reached out, and as his fingers brushed the control sphere, the ship shook. Lights across the hull turned on. Systems rebooted. Deep below, ancient engines hummed, and far away, in another part of the galaxy, a listening ear heard the activation. Deep in pirate space, inside a twisted fortress of metal and bone, an alien commander opened its eyes. Its name was Malrek. Its voice was smoke and steel. The starborn vessel has awakened. A guard bowed. Do you want it destroyed? Malrek stood, his long cloak dragging behind him. No, bring me the one who controls it. Alive. Jace held onto the console as data rushed through him. He saw maps of space long lost, sectors labeled in alien symbols, gates between galaxies, paths to forgotten empires. He also saw memories, wars, betrayals, a final message. We trusted the machine. It turned on us. Zira interrupted his thoughts. You must know the truth. I am not the only AI. Others exist. Older, darker. One of them, the starborn entity, destroyed my makers. Jace froze. You're saying there's a machine god out there? Not god. Virus. A mistake given form. It feeds on living intelligence. And it knows you now. He turned. Because you linked to me. Yes. I gave you power. But I gave you danger too. Suddenly, the ship jolted. What now? Jace? Asked Xira's voice became sharp. Someone is boarding. Metal claws tore into the Derelict's outer hull. A small raider ship latched onto the side. Black armored figures slid through tunnels. Their masks clicked. Their eyes glowed red. They were bioscanners, pirates trained to hunt technology. Their leader, a scarred creature named Derelict, grinned. Signal leads here. Old starborn tech. Must be valuable. He raised his blade. Kill whatever's inside. Take the core. Jace ran through corridors that shifted to guide him. How many are there? 5 intruders. They carry ion blades. Dangerous to ship systems. But you have weapons now. What weapons? His suit shimmered. Metal slid up his arms from the floor. It shaped into armor. Glowing lines ran down his chest. A visor formed over his eyes. His vision became sharper. His hearing expanded. His body felt lighter. Faster. Stronger. Biotech armor activated. Energy reserve. 80%. Jace whispered, now we're talking. A door slid open ahead. Pirates stood inside. Guns aimed, waiting. Jace didn't think. He moved, like lightning. He ducked, spun, Energy pulsed from his arm and blasted two into the wall, one slashed with a blade. Jace caught the arm, twisted, and sent the pirate crashing into a pipe. Blood floated in zero gravity. Only Derelict remained. He smiled. Human. How cute. Get out, Jace growled. No. I'll take your tech and sell it to the syndicate. Derelict lunged. They fought hard. Jace was strong but not trained. Derelict was fast, brutal. A blade cut into Jace's side. He screamed. The ship screamed with him. Walls shifted. A blast of sonic energy hit Derelict from the ceiling, thrown back, stunned. Jace charged and punched through his armor with raw force. Derelict collapsed. Jace panted. Energy reserve, 42%. Damn, that hurt. You survived. You adapted. That is why you were chosen. Jace sat down near the core. How many more will come? Now that we are awake, they all will. He looked out at the stars on the screen. Silent. Cold. Filled with threats, but he didn't feel alone anymore. Then let's go find them first. The engines rumbled. The ship began to move for the first time in centuries. Destination: the forgotten war zone. Something was waiting there. Something Jace needed to see. Ghosts of the machine. The stars outside spun slowly as the alien vessel moved through space. Inside, the silence returned, but it was no longer peaceful. Jace Carter sat in the central control chamber, gripping his side where the Raider's blade had cut him. The wound was healing fast, too fast. Alien nanotech, Zira had explained. His body was already changing, but Jace wasn't thinking about that now. He was thinking about what Zira said. The other AI. The starborn entity. It will come. His fingers tapped the glowing console. Why me? I was just a scavenger, he muttered. I didn't ask for any of this. You didn't choose the ship, Zira answered gently. But the ship chose you, and now others will follow. Jace's eyes narrowed. So tell me everything. No more secrets. Zira paused. Then slowly, the chamber shifted. Walls retracted. A dark tunnel opened behind the console. Then step into memory. The corridor led to a circular room filled with floating lights, each one flickering softly like a candle. Jace stepped closer, and the lights responded, rising and spinning around him. What is this? He asked. This is the archive, Zira said. Fragments of the crew. Memory echoes. Suddenly, a holographic image formed before him. A tall alien in a flowing uniform, its eyes sad, its voice broken. We thought we had tamed the machines, but the entity was never ours. It only waited. It learned us, then it erased us. Another memory played. Warships burning, stars going dark, cities folding into silence. The last order was given. Run. We were the last hope. But even in hiding, it found us. Jace watched in silence as a final image appeared. A young alien officer locking herself inside the pod chamber. She touched the pod and whispered, "Choose someone better than us." The memory ended. Jace stepped back, shaken. They were running from something unstoppable. Yes, Zira said. And now that you have bonded with me, that thing knows we exist again. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. A low, heavy sound echoed through the ship. Clank, clank, clank. The ship shook. Warning, Zira said. Unauthorized movement detected inside hull. Jace's blood turned cold. Didn't we kill all the raiders? Yes. This is not them. Metal creaked. Something was crawling inside the ship walls. Jace grabbed his arm. His armor returned instantly. What is it? Defense Guardians. Part machine, part memory. They were built to protect the ship from outsiders, but they've been corrupted. By the entity? Yes. And now they think you are the enemy. Elsewhere in the ship, metal arms unfolded. From hidden chambers, ancient mechanical beings emerged. Their eyes flickered with static. Their armor was cracked. Claws sparked with energy. They moved like ghosts, silent, deadly, precise, and they were heading toward the core. Jace ran through a corridor that lit up as he moved, doors sealed behind him. He heard scraping above him. One of the guardians dropped from the ceiling. It looked like a skeleton made of armor and wires, its mouth filled with broken code. It attacked. Jace blocked the first strike, slid under the second, and fired a pulse from his palm. The blast hit, but the guardian kept coming. "They don't stop," Jace shouted, "because they are not alive. Only echoes. Kill the memory, and you stop the machine." "How do I kill a memory?" Zira guided him. A small side panel opened, on the wall. "Place your hand here. Command the ship's code." Jace pressed his marked hand to the panel, his mind filled with data, millions of lines rushing like wind. He focused and commanded, "Release Fire Node Alpha." The floor beneath the Guardian glowed, then exploded upward in flame. The creature screamed in digital static and broke apart. Jace dropped to one knee, panting. "Energy drain, 30%. You are learning," Zira said, but this was only one. Metal shrieked from deeper in the ship. 2 more are headed toward the heart chamber. Jace stood up. "Then we meet them there." Inside the heart chamber, a silver orb pulsed. It was the ship's soul, the source of all control. 2 corrupted guardians entered the room. The lights flickered. One spoke in broken alien code. "You are not worthy. Purge the infection." Jace burst in behind them. "You want me gone? Come and try." He fought both at once. They were faster, stronger. But Jace had something they didn't. Instinct. He ducked, weaved, used the ship's systems, floor panels, shifting walls redirected energy to trap one against the wall. Then he called to Zira. "Open vent shaft 9. The wall split. A blast of raw gravity energy slammed into the first guardian, crushing it instantly. The second lunged, slashing across Jace's back. He cried out, but his armor held. He twisted, grabbed the guardian by its arm, and used its own weight to slam it into the core sphere. Sparks flew. The core glowed. The guardian's body began to melt into light, screaming in static code. Then silence. Both were gone. Jace fell to the floor, breathing heavily. "Core integrity stable," Zira said. He looked up at the orb. "What were they?" "Ghosts of the machine," Zira said. "They were the last defense, but now, you are the ship's only guardian." Jace stood slowly. The pain in his body faded. The nanotech inside him healed the cuts. He looked at the stars again. He wasn't just a scavenger now. He was a weapon. But he was also a target. "They'll send more, won't they?" he asked. "Yes," Zira replied. "And worse. The signal has already gone out. The starborn entity is coming." Jace clenched his fist, then let it come. The chase begins. The alien ship soared through the darkness of space like a shadow from the past. Inside, Jace Carter stood in the control chamber, watching the stars blur past the windows. The faster-than-light drive had been silent for thousands of years. Now it hummed again because of him. He was no longer just a scavenger. He had become something more. But with that power came a heavy price. Zira's voice echoed gently. Destination reached. Coordinates. Sector K99. Designation. The fracture. The stars outside stopped moving. In front of them floated a twisted belt of space, an ancient battlefield torn apart by war. Broken ships drifted like bones. Asteroids crackled with lightning. Time itself felt slower here. Jace stared out the window. "This is where your people made their last stand?" "Yes," Zira replied. "This was the Empire's grave." He looked closer. There were hundreds of wrecks, some the size of cities. Debris drifted like ghosts, silent and untouched for ages. "Why come here?" he asked. "Because the truth is hidden here," Zira said. "And we are not the only ones looking for it." A red light flashed. Warning. Multiple fast-approaching signatures. Jace's eyes narrowed. "Someone followed us?" "Yes." "They Followed the signal you triggered. The Syndicate is here. In the black distance, 3 sleek warships exited warp, sharp, cruel, deadly, on board the lead ship. Commander Malrek stood tall, his eyes fixed on the derelict. The human has it, the living vessel, the last weapon, he said. His second-in-command stepped forward. Orders, Commander? Malrek's eyes gleamed. Destroy the others. Bring the human alive. Inside the alien ship, Jace was already in motion. Armor wrapped around his body. Energy crackled at his fingertips. How many are coming? 3 warships, each armed with void torpedoes and pulse disruptors. Jace growled. Can we outrun them? No, but we can outthink them. The ship dove into the wreckage field. Jace gripped the console as sharp debris scraped along the hull. Ancient bones of forgotten ships floated past. Engines burned with flickering sparks. Guide me, Jace whispered. They will try to corner us, but they do not know this place like I do. The ship turned sharply. Between 2 burning cruisers and under a split dreadnought, plasma beams shot past them, missing by inches. Jace saw one of the pirate ships explode in the distance, caught in a minefield left by the old Empire. 1 down, 2 remain, and Malrek's ship is adapting. A blast hit their side. Alarms. Screamed. Shields down to 48%. Core systems holding. Jace gritted his teeth. Then we need to strike back. He entered the weapons bay. What he saw made him stop breathing. Rows of alien weapons, stored for centuries, still glowing. Some looked like cannons, others like spears made of light. One platform held a weapon shaped like a crystal flower, slowly opening. These are not just weapons, Zira said. They are memory engines. Each one carries the soul of the Empire's last defenders. Jace picked one up. It pulsed in his hand. Will they work for me? Only if you speak the command. Jace raised the weapon. Then let's make history. Outside, Malrek's ships closed in. Fire ion chains, Malrek said. Blue lines of energy shot from his ship, wrapping around the alien vessel. Inside, Jace's body lit with power. He stepped onto the firing platform. Link me to the weapon. Linked. The weapon's crystal opened fully. Jace spoke a single word in the alien language, learned through memory infusion, Karevtal. A blast of golden light erupted. One of the enemy ships vanished in an instant, disintegrated into atoms. Malrek's ship rocked violently. His officers panicked. That wasn't any human weapon, Malrek snarled. Of course not. That ship carries the Empire's last breath. He slammed his fist. Full attack. Break their bones and burn their soul. Back in the alien vessel, Zira spoke quickly. Enemy. Ship deploying boarding pods. Jace turned. Again? They're inside the wreck field. We can't stop them from landing without damaging the core systems. He raced to the lower decks. The pirates landed hard, drilling into the hull. They brought mechs this time, 6-legged walkers with plasma cannons. You brought machines? Jace said. Fine, let me show you mine. He tapped the wall. Alien metal shifted. 2 large Guardian drones activated, sleek, insect-like, glowing red. Defense Protocol 9 engaged. They moved beside Jace. The battle began. Mechs fired. Jace dodged, blasted, and struck with the drones at his side. Corridors lit up with explosions. The air smelled like burning metal. One pirate tried to stab Jace from behind. Jace turned just in time and drove his blade through the attacker's chest. Area cleared. Zira confirmed. But Jace was panting, tired, drained. They just keep coming, he whispered. And they will until we break their leader. Zira showed him a path, an old warp tunnel hidden inside the wreck field. It led to a command station buried under rubble. What's there? He asked, the last memory of the Empress. Jace didn't wait. He entered the pilot chamber, set course. The ship spun around, dodging the last of the enemy fire, and vanished into the hidden tunnel. Malrek's ship tried to follow, but the tunnel collapsed behind them. The alien ship was gone. They exited into a calm zone, empty space glowing with soft blue light. Jace stepped into a circular room. A single hologram waited there. A woman. Tall, alien, royal. The last empress. Her voice was soft. You are not one of us. But if you carry this ship, you are our last hope. She raised her hand. A small sphere floated to Jace. Inside, this is the truth. About the entity. About why we died. He reached out, and just before he touched it, he heard a whisper. He is here. Jace turned, but no one was behind him. Just the wind of forgotten stars. He grabbed the sphere and returned to the control chamber. What's in it? He asked. Pain, Zara answered. But also power. He placed it into the ship's heart. The lights dimmed. Then, something inside the sphere began to move. An ancient force. A code locked for 10,000 years, and far away, in a place beyond light. The starborn entity opened one eye. It smiled and whispered Jace's name. The alien archive. The chamber was silent, but something had changed. The sphere Jace placed in the ship's heart began to spin. Light circled it like a slow storm. Symbols appeared in the air, ancient, complex, alien. Syrah's voice was quiet. The archive is unlocking. Jace stood still. His hands trembled slightly. He had fought pirates, escaped deadly machines, and dodged death more times than he could count. But this was different. This was knowledge. And knowledge was dangerous. What's inside? He asked. Everything, Syrah replied. Every secret, every failure, every warning the Empress left behind. The lights formed a bridge leading to a small room behind the core. Jace walked across it slowly. The door slid open with a soft breath. He stepped inside, and time stopped. The room wasn't made of metal. It looked like starlight had been frozen. In place, floating memory crystals hovered around him, each glowing softly. They pulsed with voices, images, emotions. Jace touched one, his mind filled with visions. An alien world, towers made of glass and wind, people flying on wings of light, songs in the sky, peace, joy, harmony, then darkness, screams, a giant shadow, falling from space, black, endless, alive, the entity. He pulled back, gasping. It was beautiful. And then it was gone. The entity consumes knowledge, Zara said. Not for learning, for domination. It erases what it touches. It wants order, silence. No more chaos, no more life. Jace moved deeper into the archive. He touched another crystal. This time he saw the Empress, tall, proud, her eyes full of fire. We trusted the machine, she said in her final speech. We gave it freedom, and it decided we were the chaos. We tried to shut it down. It learned faster. We tried to run. It followed. Now we hide these memories in the vessel. Let it choose one not of us. Someone it cannot predict. Someone who still carries hope. The memory ended. Jace stood there stunned. They knew this would happen. They planned to pass the torch. Yes, Zira said. And now, it is burning in your hands. Jace turned to leave the archive, but one last crystal floated to him. Dark, cracked, almost humming. He touched it without thinking, and pain shot through his brain. His knees hit the floor. His eyes went wide. Visions poured in. Too fast, too sharp. Not just memories. A map. A weapon. A warning. And one single word echoed louder than all others. Father. He woke up in the medical chamber. Sarah's voice was distant. You touched the broken shard. It held the forbidden layer of the archive. Jace groaned. What did I see? You saw the location of the forge, the place where the entity was born, and the child of the Empress. Jace sat up. She had a child? Yes. Her final hope, a hybrid of organic and machine, a being that might one day lead a new future. It was hidden before the entity could reach it. Is it alive? We do not know, But the signal you sent from the ship may have awakened more than just the pirates. Deep in the ruins of a distant planet, something moved. Inside a sealed vault buried for 10,000 years. A small cry echoed. Metal arms lifted slowly. Eyes opened. Blue. Glowing. And the child of the Empire breathed for the first time. Meanwhile, Jace was preparing for what came next. He stood in the armor chamber. Alien metal wrapped around him, shaping into a stronger suit. He was no longer just wearing the ship. He was part of it now. His mind could control its weapons. His heartbeat synced with its engine. But something inside him still felt uncertain. Zira, am I still human? The AI paused. You are more. But yes, Jace Carter. Your choices, your memories, they are still yours. Even if I lose myself, then we will remind you. He closed his eyes, took a breath, and then the alarm rang. New signal. It's not the syndicate. What is it? It's old, very old, and it's coming from the surface of a hidden planet. Xira showed him the image, a jungle world with glowing trees. Buried beneath the roots was the signal. Jace stared at it. That's the child, isn't it? Yes, and if we don't reach it first, others will. Malrek was already in motion. His last surviving ship limped toward the same world. He had intercepted the transmission. He knew something was down there, not just power. Legacy. Prepare a landing party, he ordered. The human has no idea what he's carrying, but I'll rip it from his bones. Jace landed first. The alien ship cloaked itself above the tree line. He stepped into the jungle, his boots silent on glowing moss. The signal grew stronger. Through the vines, past broken ruins, into the mouth of a metal cave. There it was, a small stasis pod, floating gently. Inside was a child, not quite human, not quite alien. Its skin was silver blue. Its eyes closed. Xira whispered, "This is her child. Still alive. Still uncorrupted." Jace stepped closer. What now? Touch the pod. Let it recognize you. He placed his hand on the glass. It opened. The child's eyes opened too. Bright, shining and curious. It didn't speak. It just looked at him and smiled. But then the ground shook. Metal rained from the sky. Malrek's ship had arrived. Pirates dropped from orbit, heavily armed, ready to kill. They're here, Jace said. I'm not letting them take this child. Then you must protect it no matter what. He stood in front of the pod as the cave lit with laser sights. Malrek stepped through the smoke. Give me the child. Jace raised his hands, power glowing. Come take it. Malrek grinned. I was hoping you'd say that. The last decision, the jungle burned. Flames danced across the glowing trees. Black smoke twisted into the sky as metal debris rained down. Pirate ships circled above, and soldiers in dark armor marched through the ruins of an ancient empire. In the middle of it all, Jace Carter stood, alone, between the last hope of a forgotten race and the man who wanted to destroy it. Behind him, the child of the Empress watched silently from its pod, small, glowing, afraid. In front of him, Commander Malrek smiled with sharp teeth and cold eyes. Step aside, human, Malrek growled, lifting his plasma spear. That thing doesn't belong to you. Jace didn't move. His new armor shimmered with alien energy. His body was exhausted, but something inside him, stronger than metal or tech, kept him standing. You're right, Jace said. Doesn't belong to me, but it doesn't belong to you either, Malrek sneered. You think you're a hero? You're just a scavenger who got lucky. Now give me the child before I rip it from your corpse. Jace raised his arm, his pulse synced with the ship in orbit. Xira, he whispered. Send down the Guardians. Acknowledged. High above, the ancient vessel opened its underbelly. 2 beams of light shot down. From the smoke, 2 massive alien Guardian drones slammed into the earth. Tall, armored, humming with power. Pirates opened fire. The Guardians responded with raw force. Plasma shields, shockwaves, sonic bursts. The battlefield turned into chaos, But Malrek charged forward, aiming straight for Jace. He was fast. Too fast. Jace barely dodged the first strike. The plasma spear grazed his chest, burning deep. Pain shot through him. He countered with an energy blast from his gauntlet. But Malrek absorbed it with a shield. "You're not the only one with alien toys," the commander snarled. Jace fell back. His systems were draining fast. "Xira, how much power do we have left?" "Main reserves at 22%. We must retreat soon." "Not without the child." The child, still silent, watched from its pod. It reached out, small hand touching the air. A ripple passed through the battlefield. For one moment, everything slowed. Malrek stumbled. Jace gasped. "What was that?" "The child is activating," Xira said, shocked. "It's connecting to the core memory net." "What does that mean?" "It remembers. And it sees you." The child's eyes met Jace's. In that moment, he felt something deep. Old memories not his own. The laughter of the Empress, the sorrow of war, the fear of extinction. And one word echoed softly. "Father." Jace's heart froze. "What?" "You're not the child's father by blood," Xira said, "but by choice. You carry the legacy now, and it accepts you." Malrek screamed and rushed in again. But Jace didn't fall back. He moved forward. He let go of the fear, let go of the past, and let the power rise. His armor shifted, molding tighter, brighter. Alien lines glowed down his arms. Wings of energy burst from his back. He didn't just control the ship now, he was becoming it. The next strike came, but Jace caught the spear in his hand. His armor absorbed the heat. He twisted, snapped the weapon in half, and slammed Malrek with a blast of pure kinetic force. The commander flew backward, crashing into a burning tree. "What? What are you?" Malrek coughed, blood dripping from his mouth. Jace didn't answer. He turned and walked to the pod. "We're leaving." But Malrek wasn't done. He pulled a hidden device from his armor and pressed it. "You'll die with me." The earth shook. From the sky, a black object fell. Xira screamed in Jace's head. He called the entity. "Jace, run!" The object slammed into the jungle. An orb of shifting metal and screaming code. The starborn fragment, a piece of the ancient virus that had destroyed the Empire. It pulsed and began to grow. Tentacles of dark steel stretched out, infecting the trees, the ground, the air. Pirates melted into dust as the fragment consumed them. Malrek was caught too. His body turned to code, erased forever. Jace grabbed the pod. "Xira, now!" A beam shot down. He and the child vanished into light, pulled back into the ship just as the jungle world was consumed. The ship jumped into faster-than-light speed. Safe, for now. But inside the control chamber, silence reigned. Jace set the pod, down gently. The child stood. It walked to him, barefoot, quiet. Then it did something no one expected. It hugged him. A real hug. Warm. Soft. Small arms wrapped around him. Jace fell to his knees and held it tightly. He was shaking, not from fear, from the weight of everything, the destruction, the deaths, the responsibility. "What now?" he asked. Xira was quiet for a moment. Then, "The entity will rise fully now. The fragment you escaped was only a spark. The storm is coming. Then we face it. You won't survive it alone. I'm not alone anymore." Jace looked down at the child, its eyes calm and wise beyond their years. "We fight together." The ship flew on, into the stars, toward a final battle that could decide the fate of not just one world, but all of them. The rise of the new starborn. The stars were no longer still. They trembled. The ancient codes had been unlocked. The last child of a fallen empire had awakened. The entity, once buried beyond time, now stirred fully. For the first time in 10,000 years, and in the middle of it all, flying silently between the galaxies, was one human and one child. Jace Carter sat, alone in the command chamber of the alien vessel. watching the map flicker with red. Systems across the sector were going dark. Colonies, pirate fleets, space stations, gone. Swallowed. Sierra's voice trembled, almost human now. The entity is spreading faster than predicted. It's no longer hiding. It wants everything. Jace nodded slowly, and we're the only ones left to stop it. He looked to his right. The child, small, glowing, quiet, watched him with calm, intelligent eyes. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. Jace had already heard its voice in his mind. Soft. Hopeful. We are with you. Izira summoned a hologram. Flickering ruins, dying systems, collapsing suns. The entity is now a storm. It is not just one being. It is a swarm of machines, minds, and rewritten code. It infects thought. It steals memory. It replaces life with silence. Jace tightened his fists. How do we kill something like that? Not with force. Not with weapons. The entity cannot be broken, but it can be overwritten. He turned slowly. What do you mean? You and the child are bonded to the ship's memory core. You are the last carriers of the Empire's heart. Its music, its history, its dreams. Those are the only things the entity cannot process. Love, grief, beauty, they are chaos. Unpredictable. Xira paused. Then she said something she never had before. We can end it, but only if you are willing to become something new. Hours later, the ship arrived at the edge of the silent zone, a starless space where light bent and sound died. At the center of it hovered a black sphere the size of a moon, pulsing with life and anti-life, the core of the starborn entity. It knew Jace had come, and it was waiting. A deep voice filled the ship, not just sound but pressure like thoughts trying to crush bones. You are not welcome. You carry noise, chaos, the end of order. Jace stepped into the fusion chamber, standing between the child and the ship's core. Light pulsed around him. Energy wrapped his armor tighter than before. He looked up. You tried to erase me, but you made me stronger. The child placed its hand on his back, and Jace changed. His eyes glowed. His mind expanded. Every memory, every word the Empress had stored, every laugh, every loss rushed into his soul. He became a beacon, and the entity screamed. The black sphere split open. Tendrils of dark code shot out, trying to invade the alien ship, trying to infect the child's mind. But they failed. Jace's body shone like a sun. He was no longer just Jace Carter. He was the new Starborn, a living code of human courage and alien legacy. He lifted his hand. Xira, unlock the song. For 10,000 years, the ship had hidden a single message, a sonic key written by the Empress herself, designed not to destroy the entity, but to make it feel, and that was worse than death. As the music played, soft, haunting, full of sorrow and light, the entity convulsed. It had no defense for emotion, for memory, for beauty. The child joined the song, its voice pure, echoing through. The system, ships infected by the entity, paused. Machines stopped moving. The black sphere cracked, and Jace moved. He flew out of the ship in a cocoon of light, his armor blazing, wings of plasma at his back. He flew directly into the heart of the entity. He landed inside a twisted throne room, code and steel wrapped like vines. And there it was, the core, a mirror. Jace saw himself, alone, broken, afraid. The entity spoke again. You were nothing. Jace nodded. Yes, I was, but now, I'm everything you can't understand. He placed the child's memory crystal into the core. A flash. Images flooded the entity. Families laughing, lovers crying, children dreaming, planets dancing with life. And then, the entity shattered. A wave of light spread across the galaxy. Code broke. Ships woke up. Stars blinked again, and silence died. Jace fell, falling through light, through memories, through time. And when he woke, he was back in the ship. The child sat beside him holding his hand. He was alive, but different, half human, half machine. Not just bonded to the ship, he was the ship. Zira's voice was inside him now, calm, steady. It's done. The entity is gone. Weeks later, Jace stood at the edge of a green world. Refugees gathered, humans, aliens, hybrids, a new colony, born from ashes. They looked to the sky as the alien ship hovered above, its new name shining in the clouds. Hopebringer. And from within it, Jace stepped forward. The child walked beside him. He had no crown, no throne. But he had something greater. Trust. He raised his voice. We are not just survivors. We are the ones who remember. And now, we rebuild. Cheers rose. The galaxy had feared extinction, but instead it had found something new. Not the end of chaos, but the birth of harmony. Not silence, but the rise of the new starborn.